Greetings to you all. This is Dr. B. Prabhavati, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science, SSN College of Engineering, Chennai. In this session, I'm going to talk about why it is necessary to learn data structure. Shouldn't we just focus on algorithms? So first, let us understand what is computer. It's a machine which runs the task very fast with less human effort. So for a task or a problem, we have different solution. And each solution can be converted into algorithm. So we have a set of algorithms, out of which we have to choose the best algorithm, and in terms of time and space. And then this algorithm will be converted into a program in the specific language, and then it can be executed in the computer. Coming back to the algorithm, let's understand what is the impact of data on the algorithm. So if you look at here, algorithm and data are not different. Algorithm actually work around the data. Algorithm works on the data in terms of insertion, deletion, searching, and so on. In order to better understand this, we'll take an application of building dictionary. We all know dictionary. Dictionary will have millions of words along with their meaning. So in this application, let us consider two cases. Case one, the words are not organized in any order. So in that case, if we want to search for a word and its meaning, and supposing if that word is at the end of the dictionary, then just imagine we need to search all the words, that is million words we need to search in order to find the meaning of that particular word. The case two is, in case two, all these million words are organized in lexical order. In this case, we can follow a process. The process is this way. Supposing we have millions of words like this, we can divide that into two halves to find out the middle word, which we call it as WM. And the word to be searched is WS. Now, what we need to do is, we need to check the word to be searched, WS and WM. If WS is less than WM, it means that the word lies in the left half. So we are going to omit right off in the searching itself. So how many words we are omitting? We are omitting 5 million words. So now we concentrate only in the left half. In the left half, again, we are going to find out the middle word, which is WM. Now the word to be searched is WS. Again, we are going to compare WS and WM. So in this case, let's say WS is greater than WM. That means our search word lies in this half. So we are going to omit this left half. So here again, we are going to omit 2.5 million words. Like this, the process continues until we find a word and its meaning. So in this process, when we compare with the case one, the number of words that needs to be searched in order to find meaning in the dictionary is going to be really very less. This is because in case two, we have taken the data in an organized way. We have taken the 5 million words in organized manner. That is the reason why the algorithm is behaving efficiently. This is the takeaway of this application. Organization of data impacts the efficiency of the algorithm. So having understood this, let's have a brief introduction of data structures, and we'll consider some set of applications. And finally, we will see how we can choose a right data structure for the given application. Now let's go for a data structure array. Array is a data structure where we store sequence of elements in contiguous memory location. And every element is indexed. So 0th index is having 25, first index is having 35, and so on. Supposing if we want to access 53, array of ARR of 3 is going to give this 53. So random access is possible with respect to array data structure. Supposing if we want to search the number 7, which lies at the end. So we need to, in that case, this is worst case. In this case, we have to search all the n elements. This is searching operation in array data structure. Supposing if we want to insert let's say the data 100 in the index 2 already we have the data of 5. So we need to right shift all the elements. We have to shift all the elements towards right in order to make a room for the new element to be accommodated. So we have a lot of data movements here. Similarly, in deletion operation, for example, if the first element need to be deleted, in order to maintain the sequence, we need to shift all the elements towards left. So insertion and deletion elements involve a lot of data movements. So to summarize, in an array data structure, we have static memory location. Suppose if we allocate array of 5 memory location, then we can store only 5 elements. If we try to store any other element after this index, then it's going to throw you array out of bound exception. So it is static allocation, but it allows random access. Suppose if I want to access any data, I can access it using the index. And searching time, it takes worst case, we need to go through all the n elements. Insertion and deletion involves a lot of movements of data. The next data structure is linked list. It is again the sequence of elements maintained in random memory location, not in contiguous memory locations. So for example, high is the data, and it has another information which gives the location of the next data. So like that, it keeps going on. So high will have the address of how will have the address of R, and so on. And the last node will have, why we are calling node, because it is the data as well as the address of the next node. So the last node will have a null pointer which indicates the end of the list. Similarly, we'll have a pointer which points to the first element of the list to indicate the starting of the list. So this is linked list data structure. Here, how many ever data we want, we can add it. So it is actually growing dynamically. The linked list can grow dynamically. So in linked list, suppose if you want to add any new data, let's say I want to add 15 after 91, I have to just adjust the pointer. Previously 91 was pointing to 23. Now I have to make 91 to point to 15 and 15 to point to 23. Similarly, suppose if I want to delete the data 15, then I have to make 10 to point to 20 instead of 10 to point to 15. And then I have to free the memory location of 15. So if we take this insertion and deletion, it takes constant time. So to summarize, linked list, there is no random access, and dynamically it can grow. And search time, the worst case, suppose if I want to search 55, then I have to go through all the elements. Insertion and deletion takes constant time. And there are different variations for a linked list. For example, in this is a linked list where if you take one element, it can point to the next element. Also, it can point to the previous element. And that is why it is called as doubly linked list. Each node will have 2 pointers, left pointer and right pointer. Left pointer will point to previous element, and right pointer will point to the next element. This is called doubly linked list. And this is circular linked list, where the last node points to the first node and first node points to the last node. This is actually circular doubly linked list. These are some of the variations of the linked list data structure. Next, we'll consider the data structure stack. Here, let's say this is an one-ended array or linked list or whatever it is. And here, there is one end which is open for insertion and deletion. At first, stack is empty. We push 1 will be there. We push 2 will be over 1. And we push 3 will be over 2 and 1. And suppose if you want to take away the data, 3 will be coming out first. So whichever data I push last, that will be coming out first. So this is actually called as last in first out data structure. So here again, there is no random access possible. Supposing if you want to attempt searching of elements, you have to go through all n elements, but insertion and deletion takes constant time. And the another data structure is queue. And in this, we have 2 ends, where at the back, we can have insertion. At the end, we will have deletion. For example, I insert first, 1 will be here. I insert 2 will be 2 will be here. I insert 3, 3 will be here. I insert 4, 4 will be here. And supposing if you want to delete, then 1 will be coming out first. After this, 2 will be coming out next, like that. So whichever element is pushed first or inserted first, that will be coming out. And that is why this data structure follows this nature, first in, first out. So this data structure, in this data structure also, we don't have any random access. And here again, if you want to search for any element, we have to go through n elements. And insertion and deletion takes constant time. Okay, having looked at all the data structures, now we'll move on to application. The application one is movie ticket booking. So this we might have seen in day-to-day life, where you have a screen like this. We want to book a ticket. So how will we book a ticket? We will specify the row and the column, and I want to book this ticket. Say 6th seat I want to book, 7th seat I want to book. So what we are doing actually, we are actually locating the seat, and you want to, we will click a button, the seat will be booked. That means you are applying a random search here, random access here, random accessing of the seat or position, and then you are trying to book. So out of all the data structures that we have looked at, array is actually giving us the facility of random access. And so array will be better data structure to implement this movie ticket booking application. The application 2 is song playlist. Here we need to maintain list of songs which can grow dynamically. So we need to have a list of songs. If you want to have a list, either we can go for an array or we can go for a linked list. But array is having a static allocation of memory, but linked list will have dynamic growth. Since the song can grow dynamically, then so we can use linked list here. And the next requirement is we need to play previous and next song. So we need to use doubly linked list, because doubly linked list facilitates us to go to previous node and next node. Next requirement is once the songs are over in the playlist, again the playlist has to be executed from the beginning. So we have to come back after the last song. We need to come back, come to the first song, and again we have to play the same. So we can better go with circular linked list to implement this particular application. So when we consider application 3, this application is tracking the history of websites. So in Google, I may look at website 1. After that, I may look at website 2, website 3, and so on. So let's arrange this way. So website 1, website 2, website 3. Okay. So which is the recent website that I've looked at? WS3, website 3. So next recent is WS2. So if it is arranged this way, then the recent website that I will take is the WS3. So if you look at here, the history of the web browser is actually following what? The most recent that I want to get it out. That means last in need to come out first. So which data structure is following this patient stack? So if we look at web browser, the web browser history is maintained using stack. So this is the website that I've looked at recently. This is what is popping up first. So the data structure used to build this application to maintain the history of websites is stack. So the next application is serving request. So there is a server and there are a lot of clients, and each client is giving a query. So client is giving a query 1, query 2, query 3, and so on. So how the server is going to service this query? Whichever query is coming first, only that it has to serve first. So we have to maintain a data structure in which whichever comes in will be coming out first. So we need to choose a data structure which follows this. So we know that queue is a data structure which follows this. Whichever is in this data structure, whichever is going first is going to come out first. So this data structure is used to implement the message queue of the server. Okay, so we have seen, we have looked at all the data structures in brief, and we have looked at the application, and we have seen what data structures will be better suited for these applications. So what we need to do, to summarize what we need to do, whenever an application is given to us, we need to first understand what is the demand for that application, whether it needs random access or not. Certain things we need to ask about the application, whether whether the application needs random access, whether static number of items it is using, or the items need to grow dynamically, which operation in demand needs optimization. For example, if we look at dictionary application, the search operation needs to be very fast. So we need to look at a data structure which can give search operation very fast. Similarly, some application may require insertion to be very fast or deletion to be very fast. So based on that, we need to choose a data structure. And certain application demands the kind of organization. For example, the stack follows last in first out, queue follows first in first out. The very nature of the data structure itself will suit the application, because the organization of data is in that way in that data structure. So keeping all this in mind, we need to choose a data structure. So once when the proper data structure is being chosen, then the algorithm which works on the data structure will be efficient. Why I'm saying like that? Because, for example, if we implement this movie ticket booking application with linked list, what will happen? Random access is not supported. So if we don't think and take a data structure, then algorithm is not going to work very efficiently. So we need to choose the proper data structure. So once when we choose proper data structure, what is the advantage of it? The algorithm is going to be efficient. Because of that, there will be a good performance when the program gets executed. And then once when the data structure is ready, and once when the data structure is getting executed, and whenever an application with the similar context comes, the same data structure can be reused. So these are the advantages. I hope now you could understand why data structure is very important when the application is designed. So also you can understand that why it is very important to learn the data structure. Thank you all for listening.